Hello, Lincoln community. I'm coming to you today from our library. Those of you who know me know how I feel that our library is the heartbeat of the Lincoln community. Over the month of September and October, we have been celebrating and we are planning to celebrate a number of events. So we chose this moment to come together and talk to you a little bit about literacy at Lincoln. And I welcome Miss Melissa and Miss Mechi to join me and share a little bit about their insight as our team here. I feel like one of the biggest questions that parents ask, have the pleasure of having kids who love to read and who are just kind of your number one patrons, but some of us also have reluctant readers at home. What advice do you give to parents of all ages who are wondering how to make sure that their kids are really engaged and excited about reading?
For me as the elementary librarian, I think one of the most important things is to give time reading together as a family. So a time where everyone is reading, not then where maybe parents aren't on their phones, the phones are away, the screens are away, and it's a time you can gather together to read. We have books about all sorts of topics. If your child is into monsters or sports or art or cooking, we have books about that, and we encourage parents to come to the library and check them out, and we can help you find books. The other thing that's really important is to not be negative about reading.
And get them involved in the process of picking and choosing their own materials, right? Getting to know what their interests are, like maybe doing, as you said, an activity all together, coming to the library or maybe going to a bookstore and show them, how to navigate, explore. We always encourage them to be self-navigators and also lifelong learners. It's what we do here at school. So in that sense, I think to role model, as Melissa was saying, what we expect them to be, or the habits that we want them to develop, it's a key part of it.
What age, I'm always curious, what age do you encourage parents to read aloud to their children? When does that kind of stop? Because I've noticed that sometimes you start when they're really young, and I know that I've always heard such strong encouragement about the importance to reading, even to infants, and as they get older. But at some point, our kids become readers themselves. When do you stop reading to them?
I would say never. I would love to have someone to read to me a story. So,
absolutely, never stop reading to your kids.
Yeah,
and we also have audiobooks that are available. So if you don't feel comfortable being the person reading, especially as your kids get older and middle high school, you can all listen to an audiobook together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering too, while I'm listening to you, about reading in different languages for our community. Can you talk about that for a little bit? When parents have multiple languages at home?
Read in multiple languages.
Yeah,
it is crucial.
And it's a great way to work in the acquisition of a new language also. So yes, and Melissa mentioned audiobooks, and it's something that we provide through Sora. And by using that platform where we can give access to not only audiobooks, but also ebooks, I think it's another way to have a better learning experience by using those devices. I know that sometimes using screen is not the best, and we want to regulate that, but also it's a way in which we can teach them how to use technology in a good way.
Let's talk about that. I notice with my own children, sometimes they'll be using their iPad and they'll say, no, I want you to switch to reading, and they'll say, but I'm on Sora. And sometimes I'm not sure if they should be reading on devices or if they should be reading from a physical book.
Well, it depends on your children's ages, of course. We would like kids, especially my students, to be on screens less. And we are very fortunate here to have extremely well-resourced print collections in both the middle school, high school, where we are now, and in the elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
And I would encourage you to have your kids read more in print.
Mm-hmm.
But as they get older, as you're traveling, of course, an e-reader is very convenient.
Yes. And also, you know what? It's a great way for us as librarians and teachers and parents even to ensure accessibility. And with that, I mean that depending of the needs of each kid, we can provide different tools from these kind of devices, If you want to have, I don't know, most of them has a built-in dictionary, so you don't have to stop and look it up for the meaning. You can continue reading. You can also change the font, the size. You can make it more dyslexia friendly. You can change the back to have a more relaxing experience. So I think in that way, we allowed reading to be more accessible.
It's like a personalized reading experience.
But also just to realize that I think a lot of parents don't know that we have such a range of titles in both libraries. And in particular, we have a lot of books specifically designed for kids with dyslexia. The print is different, the color of the pages is sepia, the spacing is different, and they're still fantastic starts.
Yeah.
But also, of course, we have a myriad of graphic novels which can appeal to different kinds of kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we have books for everybody.
Yeah.
We're very lucky.
Yeah.
I think what I really appreciate about both your spaces, it's not just a place where we can go and get books, right? It's a place where we draw our community together, that whether it's a game of chess or checkers, whether it's coming to see Gracie, our therapy dog, for just a little bit of love and encouragement.
We love her.
You know, even just this physical space that kids will come and congregate here and connect. And I see that in both of your spaces. I wonder if just as we think about our parent community, I wonder what you would want to share with our parents about how they can also utilize and access our spaces.
For the elementary library, parents are encouraged to come to the library after school every day, except Wednesdays for our meeting times. And we're also open one Saturday a month for family fun. The vision of the library is more of a community area, like a public library, perhaps back home.
Yeah, that's the heart of the library. I do agree on that. And we are always welcoming everyone in our community, not only our students, of course, and faculty, staff, parents, not only to come, but also to reach out through email to see if we can help them, not only with books, but we have subscriptions to many databases and access to more than 7,000 publications all around the world in many languages. So
fantastic. Thank you both for sharing with me a little bit about our spaces and about one of my favorite places on
Thanks for
campus
having
as
us.
well.
We'll see you in the
Look forward
library.
to seeing you at the library.